Jones, Indiana. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. The Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where, to be quite honest, 5 minutes would have been more than enough. I'm Pete Mummer.
I'm Tom Taylor, and I agree completely.
I'm Gerald Christopher St. Cajetan, patron saint of gamblers and the unemployed.
Nice.
Oh,
It's kind of a twofer
wow.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
that's
You're kind of like,
logical.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
maybe a causal relationship.
There's a bonus here. Also, the patron saint of Malta.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. As
It
featured in
takes me
Raiders of
like
the
an
Lost
hour
Ark.
and a half to figure these out.
Picture you've got like a sharpened pencil behind your ear, and you're rapidly like thumbing through 8 books that you have put on your desk.
Yeah,
Gotta find just the right saint.
exactly. Porter.
And speaking of Renaissance men, today we're joined by a modern-day Dymaxian man, Mr. Mark Heidemann.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mark, to the show.
Thank you guys very much for having me. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, Heidemann.
How are you? How are you, Taylor?
I gotta say, just to give context, Heidemann and I have known each other since just before The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
Like, we met after Star Wars, but like just months before The Empire Strikes Back, and he's been indispensable ever since.
Well,
And we saw this movie for the first time together.
we did.
Didn't we?
Yes.
Oh,
Last Crusade
Yes.
in Cape Cod.
1989.
can I ask you a question, Mark?
Yes.
Did Tom ever like fun?
No. In fact, the funner it was, the less fun he had every time.
Oh, I thought
Do you
I
know
thought
what?
I'd just becoming crusty. I didn't know it was always this way.
I just would like to add that Mark Heidemann's relationship and my relationship, our relationship, has basically been, we've both been the quote, Tommy's girlfriend up in Canada to each other.
In the Niagara Falls area, yes.
You're right.
That's how we always. We just kept hearing about how awesome the other guy was.
And meanwhile, wouldn't it have been nice if Tom had just said that to us? Yeah, you're so cool, Mark, or you're so cool
I know.
there.
Yeah.
But he didn't do
I
that
gotta
either.
string you guys along.
The whole time we had to sit there and out-hit each other.
What did he say?
See, I wish you, when Jerry said how awesome he said things about, I wish you would have been, Mark, you would have been, what?
Hey, and real quick, Mark,
Yes.
do you remember in Tommy's bedroom, he had his very first deodorant, and he kept it for years and years and years, like the Chacha Point Idol. He had and I remember I was like, "Hey, what's that?" He's like, "Oh, this is this is the the Empire Strikes Back ticket." This is my very first deodorant.
My eyeballs are
I
sweating
was
right
like,
now.
dude, you guys use deodorant, Tommy?
I'm 13 years old.
Yeah.
I'm a
And the
man.
orange. We're not going to.
The
Did you ever
orange.
see the orange
Yeah.
that was brought over? Was it Jen Straub or somebody brought over an orange?
I was pre-Gen Straub. It was like
Yeah, I think it had to be.
it was like in the
There was a tiny brown nut I felt. I found right above my pillow when I was spending a week at Tommy's, and I go, "What is this? What is this?" And you looked at it and you go, "Oh, you know what? That's an orange." and somebody had brought it over and given it to you, I think, a year and a half prior
maybe.
to its discovery.
Tom had a hard
Yeah.
time letting things go.
This is such a simple way of putting it, and it's absolutely totally accurate. Mom, where's my Coke can? There was a Coke can on the corner of that table. Where'd it go?
Well,
What are you trying to do to me?
if Tom's wristwatch would break, He didn't buy it. He wouldn't just buy a new watch.
yeah.
He would actually buy a second watch and wear it on his other wrist. That was just the way it went.
Yeah. Tom, why do you wear 2 watches? Oh, because this one's busted.
Exactly.
But that was so interesting.
And it had, remember, it had the sticker that you put on it, damaged
That's right.
defective.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
That was my
Yeah.
cool innovation. My Toy Store days.
So naturally, you can see why Jerry and I fought for Tom's attention.
Yeah. We got to be in the Tom Taylor business. This guy's awesome.
I really feel like I was missing out.
Hey, you just got crusty, cranky, old, bitter, dried up Tom Taylor. Sorry.
Yeah, I always thought I was
one
the
watch now.
curmudgeon, but it's really secretly it's Tom this whole time.
Yeah. Although I would love to hear that Tom, like, unbeknownst to all of us, like, was doubled over laughing in his chair when the guy with the stamp came on when you guys first saw Last Crusade.
Yeah. I was way in the back of the theater.
I wish I could tell you that. I wish I could.
All right. Well, let's jump into today. We're talking about minute 98, and I can already tell I'm going to come to loggerheads with Jerry. 98, one of my favorite minutes of the movie, begins with Henry looking over the edge of the cliff at an exploding tank, and it ends with Indy joining his friends and family as they peer down into the canyon.
Aw. Well, we had at the very end of minute 97, it ended with Henry, just like you said, like looking over the cliff going, Junior! And then right after this, we get Sala, and he yells, Indy! And I badly want Marcus to just run up and yell, grilled cheese sandwich!
He comes pretty close. He is kind of like Steve Carell in Anchorman at this point.
Oh, a little bit, yeah. Way too daffy.
But how did... well, first, just a little comment before I ask my question. And I don't think this fits into Fever Dream territory, but did seeing that smoking tank down at the bottom of the canyon remind anybody else of Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru smoldering?
Oh, wow.
I hadn't thought of that, but
I don't know if it's just
It
a
is
general
a similar smoke coverage, maybe.
in
Yeah.
desert backdrop. But my question is, oh, go ahead, Jer.
I was going to make a bad pun and call her Aunt Barbecue.
That's a 30-year-old bad pun.
Yeah, that's a really, Well,
That would have really slayed Tom, though, back when you were fighting for his position. Yeah. So where is Indy when all this is happening? Like, I still have no idea how he survived this. Apparently, he leapt from the back of the tank and is climbing up a vine, and that makes me wonder, do you think he did one of those Tarzan yells at some point?
Well, I was going to say, it almost seems like he's in a different movie, because where are these Tarzan vines in the desert? I mean, is there like a...
Yeah.
And the thing is, when they look over the cliff, there are like hundreds of them. It's like, what are they? What was growing there? And then why is he off on the side climbing back up? It's like he somehow flew diagonally, out of the tank.
I think Indy is just by now a professional vine climber.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we see that in Raiders, and I wonder if he only goes over cliffs if he sees vines. Like, I got this. This is fine.
This is doable. Although, actually, what I'm picturing right now is Shorty in Temple of Doom, where he does that awesome leap.
Oh, yeah.
From the top of the ladder, and he grabs onto that rope.
That's awesome. Yeah.
In midair. Like, I could see him doing something like that on like the very back of the tank and grabbing the vine.
That's
maybe.
great. That saves it completely.
But did you guys notice, though, at the beginning of the minute, it starts with this gigantic explosion, and then it has that typical movie thing where it's like silent for a minute, and then you get the rolling down the hill. So it's kind of like when you watch that movie where like there's somebody running along a hillside, and then suddenly a helicopter pops up, and it's like, oh, I didn't know that helicopter was there because it's utterly silent. It seems kind of like the same kind of thing. It's like, wait a minute, it was totally quiet, and then suddenly, then you get this crashing sound that sounds like 5 trains colliding. So, I'm just wondering, like, what's the deal with that? Did I miss something in there, or is that that's a movie magic?
Yeah, we've seen this is like the impact of the thing at the end of the last minute. The tank actually lands,
right,
and the big ragdoll flops out. Right, it's all horrible. Yeah, and then we get this big boom, and then you get that rolling.
Right, but there's like that beat where there's not. I guess it's in midair. I don't know.
Maybe Henry's ears are still ringing from falling off the tank.
Right.
That's clear up right then.
Did you guys hear? Did you hear the elephant roar in there?
No.
Wait,
No,
what?
Ben Burt, there's an elephant where there's a like when it goes like an elephant roar, and it made me think it's that classic Ben Burt, chaos, because remember we had the lion river with the lion roar in the
Oh,
Temple
yeah,
of Doom River.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's an elephant in there. Like I think
like
there's
that.
there's an elephant in the tank.
Probably shortest
They
best
couldn't afford a
friend.
tiger in the tank. So they
It's
put an
one of the.
elephant in
It
the tank.
sounds like it's some sort of mechanical screeching or something. But if
Well, that
you
reminds
listen
me of
to
the,
it closely, it's an elephant.
Spielberg used that dinosaur sound in like Jaws, and then in
Yeah.
the Duel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's that
Yeah,
element
it's like that.
of like it's supposed to be like the sound of like bending, screeching metal, I guess, and it works. It's like this
Yeah.
it's death
It
throes.
totally
yeah,
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sala was right. It was a metal beast.
Did any of you guys think think that Henry was going to say, "I've lost him," just when he was getting interesting?
How many times is this going to happen to me?
Does it feel like to anybody else that this is a like a stage play and there's somebody on stage just absolutely nailing like his monologue,
Oh, yeah.
like his dramatic
Okay.
Oh,
monologue?
yeah. I mean,
Because just that close up on his face for several seconds.
right, and
Yeah.
and yet he only mentions Marcus. It's like poor Sala is getting ignored.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
going
he
to come up
just met
again.
Marcus or met Sala like earlier that day, maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
I actually love that he just mentions. I love that he mentions anybody and that it's Marcus. I think
Yeah.
that's,
Right.
you know that they're old pals.
Yeah, right.
And it's nice that he's sort of letting him in on this grief.
But Spielberg won't let us in because we don't see Marcus in that. It's
you
only.
know what?
I'm okay with it, but it's because it's clearly just about Henry in that moment. Even though he mentions
Yeah, like you
Marcus.
don't want him to cut away from Sean Connery,
Exactly.
but when they do, when they take every opportunity later on to cut to Marcus like picking his nose and falling in a bucket of poo
Right,
and stuff, you're like, oh, couldn't they just cut to him like when like his friend needs him and stuff and he's feeling for him and things? He's just another human being and an adult with a brain.
But it's also weird because even before that, when he gets really stupid, when they're looking over the cliff and Henry has this moment, then you still have, you have Sala, he's kind of holding his hat in his hand and he's like sad.
Yeah.
And then you get Henry's kind of holding his hat and he's sad. And Marcus is pledging allegiance to the flag. And I don't understand why he's doing that.
See, I thought because he had pledged his allegiance to Indy a long time
Okay,
ago. Like,
I
I
guess-
felt like that was.
I guess that explains it.
Yeah.
But his hand never moves. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
I love that tableau though, like of that
Oh, yeah,
Sala
it's
clutching
great.
his fez and sobbing,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's a gorgeous shot.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It is.
What do you think Henry would have told him if he had those 5 minutes?
That's a really, you know what? That's a
Yeah.
fantastic line.
Yeah,
Jerry,
it's
I'm just going
beautiful.
to spill the beans. Jerry, in the green room before we started recording, you said that you hate this minute. And
Yeah.
I've,
No, I was just, I wasn't being.
oh, well, hey, no. Ribbon between pals. Look at the time. Gotta go.
No, I actually don't hate this minute, not at all. It's. I mean, we'll get to it.
Looks good on you, though. No, but I mean, like, it's like 5 or 6 sentences, and it's like,
Yeah,
it kills you. I never
Yeah.
told
Yeah.
him anything.
yeah,
That's like 5 minutes would have been like, you don't know exactly what he's talking. You get like simplistically enough, he's probably saying, I never told him I loved him. Or even like, I never told him why I was a jerk and kept him at arm's length and everything, or what was going on in my head or in my life or whatever. That I let his mom die and I let him
Yeah.
run away and stuff.
yeah.
But like, and 5 minutes would have been enough. That's like super, not just like economical, but just like heartbreaking. It's really
Yeah.
great.
And it feels unbelievably real, like the way he stands there. And then I love that he's like, I think it's absolutely lovely that he's not alone. That Marcus and Sala, even though they're not doing anything, are both kind of here, even in their own grief, are still supporting Henry. Like I think this is really a nice scene.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about the Grail Diary bibliography, and that's what he wanted to tell him.
I never told him about the 5 other diaries.
Exactly. No, I do. I think that's what he's talking about. He's like, it would have taken 5 minutes, or either that or the secrets. You know, the three. He didn't tell him the three. You know, the Lion of Judah breath or whatever it is.
Well, it's either that or he's going to finally admit that he shot the tail off the plane. Maybe that's just 5 minutes.
I actually have a note here. I wonder if it's about the cross of Coronado. Listen, son, you actually skipped 15 in Greek on your way down.
Right. Or, son, I paid those hoodlums to pretend to be chasing you for the cross of Coronado, and really it was like this tin piece of garbage.
Well, I got to quote Tom and Jerry here. I have an excellent question.
Oh.
Is this everybody that Indy and Henry have in the world right here?
Wow. Yeah, who they haven't alienated and abandoned and pissed
there's
off.
Marion. There's Marion.
She's
No,
been
she's
alienated
she's
and
gone.
pissed off. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, he's still. We have. Yeah. Okay.
Shorty, I think he sold for parts or
Yeah.
something like that. Off screen.
Willie, they broke up at the San Francisco airport.
Yeah.
Right on their way back home.
I think this is the smallest, most intimate group in Indy's life, probably. Yeah, and Henry's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd agree with
So
that.
if Indy's dead, what happens? Like, did they just go to the Canyon of the Crescent Moon?
Oh yeah. Do
I
they
bet they
pack it
do.
up and they're like, you know what, we
Yeah.
got to bury our son. We got to.
Yeah.
Or are they just like, well, that sucked. Let's go get the Grail.
They have to like climb down there and stuff and find his body.
Yeah. Just
and-
where do they go? Yeah. What do
Yeah.
they do?
Right.
Wow.
Well, maybe they figure the desert will preserve it and they can come back for him in a little while.
We'll come back with the Grail.
Well, fortunately, Spielberg only gives us about 28 seconds to grieve him because
Right.
they're very quick to get you back. So don't worry, he's climbing up the side of the mountain. Yeah,
And I think that's perfect. Like Spielberg is great at taking you to the brink of yourself. You're going to the brink of the cliff, and then he pulls you right back right when you get to the edge. And you start even if you kind of laugh through your tears. And I think this is one of his best, his best versions of that right here.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
And we talked recently on our bonus show over on Patreon. We were talking about E.T. and how that's kind of like at least I was saying that's kind of like it's one of the long list of very kind of cheap fake deaths that last just long enough for you to, mourn and like get this emotional scene out of somebody, and then the person goes, "Hey, everything's fine actually." And like this is technically kind of like that, but yeah, I agree. It's like exactly like nobody thinks that Indiana Jones just died. No one's like shocked when he pulls himself up. There's no swell of music or anything.
Right.
So this kind of doesn't count as one of those kind of cheap takes. It's like it's an awesomely timed. So like 5 or 6 sentences of Henry Jones grieving and in shock, and then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when Indy comes over and joins them, and he starts peering over the cliff, what does he think they're looking at?
I can't believe that tank blew up. I never told it anything. Vogel.
I think this is the perfect Last Crusade treatment of an Indy death. It is. It's poignant. It's a poignant scene. Indy's dead, but then we get the classic. Just the old fake out. Where Indy kind of comes over, and it's exactly what I would expect in this movie, and very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm with Tom. I don't think the viewer necessarily assumes that Indy dies. I think we assume that his dad thinks he dies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think this is more a moment to watch Henry, suddenly find what's important to him in life, rather than us thinking like a trick to make us think Indy's dead.
Yeah, like Henry needs this. Like they're probably not going to make any headway in their relationship if something like this doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
At least not in this movie.
I think Jerry needs this from this movie. Jerry needs to jump onto a vine. And this movie needs to look down.
Well, what's interesting is when we saw that shot of Vogel, like in his going over and screaming, and is the close up on on his face. There's no sign of Indy on that tank, is there?
No, there's like a little shadow on the back that could be Indy.
Oh, is there?
Oh, really?
It's hard to tell, but I don't think.
Well, there's that weird close up of him like rolling off the back or something. That's like the last time you actually see him before the tank goes over.
Yeah.
But you don't see him anywhere on the cliff face. With
Well,
the
so
tank's
does
going
he?
over.
Right.
Does he like careen off the cliff and then grab a vine, or does he land on the ground at the does he land on the top of the precipice and just roll over and grab the vine?
Yeah.
Bumbles bounce.
Yeah.
Is that what you call umbrellas, Tom?
Yeah, I call them bumbles. Oh yeah, Peter never heard of a bumbershoot before.
That you know what? But now, if you say, "Hey, do you know what a bumbershoot is?" Oh yes.
Oh
yes.
yeah, I have the first one ever
Oh
made.
yes. Yeah, I have the first one ever made.
Yeah, it's made out of human skeletons.
I named them that. They used to be called umbrellas.
Yeah.
I had one question. Do you guys look better with a beard?
No.
I tried a beard once.
Yeah.
It was okay.
As I lose more hair, the more I can wear a beard. It pulls your eyes. They stop looking at my huge expanse of pate and focus on my face.
Well, it's nice.
You look just
they
like
know
Sean
that,
Connery.
No, I get Kelsey Grammer, thank you.
and they know you're not completely glabrous. At least you probably have gone through puberty at least.
Right, exactly.
You're not like a 3-week-old baby.
Jesus.
Although when I was born, I did look like Eisenhower, so that's
there you go.
a long-running thing in my family.
I was just looking because I'm watching this close-up of Henry here, and he's got Sean Connery with a beard. He's a pretty stout beard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, he always sported that really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he was pretty much only beard after like, the 80s or something, or even mid 80s, like.
Right. Because he always hated wearing the toupee. And he never wanted to wear it. And so I was like, fine, I'll give you hair, just instead.
I'm gradually developing a theory that I haven't examined at all, so I have no idea if it holds water, but that all of his best performances are without a hairpiece.
That's
you got your
entirely
Untouchables,
possible.
you got your Last Crusade, you got your, that's it.
Wait,
Oh, that Robin and Marion. Anybody here see Robin and Marion?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good
That's
movie.
a really good movie.
Yeah. And Zardoz.
Hey, wait, Pete. What happens if you have a beard?
Who, me?
Oh, if Pete has a beard?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it.
Where did beards come from, Pete?
Like, what? Have you ever
happening to
had
my
a
body?
full beard?
No, I've never. That's
Never?
No, I can't deal with that. That's too much disorder on my face.
Can't court chaos like that.
Yeah.
What are you asking of him?
I don't mind. I often do a couple days worth of stubble though.
Oh, sure. That's
Yeah.
fetching.
Well, sure. No, we all love Indiana Jones. I think that's
Yeah.
what we're doing here.
And we all
I
hate
think,
shaving
where
every day.
Well,
Yeah.
and we all got it. I did it just because Indy does it.
Well, I don't mean to jump back in minutes, but the one thing when he meets Hitler, I never understood. I thought Hitler would be like, shave, to tell him to shave or something.
Oh, yeah.
Who meets Hitler and isn't clean shaven?
Yeah. Hitler wasn't very much of a stickler for that sort of thing.
I guess.
Unless Hitler was
Very
like,
easygoing.
I've never seen this before, but this looks pretty nice on this young fella.
All soldiers get scruffy. From now on.
Well, speaking of scruffy, Jer.
Speaking of scruffy, yes, this just in.
Hey!
From Professor Scruffy Porter. Oh, this is good. Actually, Mark, I'd like to hear you go first here.
Okay.
What would Sala tell Indy in 5 minutes, comma, what would you tell Indy in 5 minutes?
Oh, wow.
Oh, jeez. Nothing like a little pressure.
Yeah.
Sala would offer dates, maybe. And me, I would. I have no idea. This is. You put this on the guest?
Yeah, really.
I
Don't put it on the host either,
jealous.
because I don't know what to say.
This is not right.
I always hated you.
He called up
Now
his
the
sister
truth
before the show.
comes
Hey,
out.
Heideman's going to be on the show. Come up with some real stumper so he looks like a dummy. My final revenge.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things you can tell the guy. It's not
Yeah.
like he's an unmodeled character.
Yeah. Tell him to let some people into his life a little bit.
Sure.
Into his heart.
Tell him when
Saul
he's
is
not
your
doing
buddy. Give him a hug. Give him a full-on
Yeah.
hug. Doesn't matter if your arm hurts.
Yeah. I'd take him aside and be like, look, this isn't even going to take 5 minutes. This is going to take about 11 seconds. You're a little high-strung, man. I mean, you do this, like, cool as a cucumber thing, but you know what I mean? You're a
Yeah,
little...
you can't sit in a chair
it's-
for 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And
Settle
it's just, just relax, man. It's actually okay. Maybe put on some Peter Tosh or something.
See, I tell him, you know, I realize that you're a professor of archaeology, but this stuff you're doing that you call archaeology just means that none of this is going to be left for any of the rest of us to ever see.
Yeah.
So maybe, tone it down with the destruction.
Or would you tell him, like, stop looking for stuff, or just like if you do it,
No,
I'll tell you what. Why don't you go to archaeology school, and then see how it's done?
Yeah, just don't burn it or smash it or, you know.
Take a picture of it. Not flash
You know what?
photography.
Have you seen the movie Archaeology 101? It's really dull. Nobody dies. There's no Cairo swordsman.
It's 7 years long.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, Mark, thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me. It was fun. It was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
And I
Yeah.
didn't ask you beforehand. Is there any place you'd like to send our listeners or anything you'd like to share
Oh,
with
I'd
them?
like to send them someplace. No. Well, I work at a film archive called Historic Films. So if anyone makes movies or commercials or TV shows or industrial films, come to me, and I won't promise you a deal, but I'll give you footage.
Nice.
He promises to do business with you.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely check that out. And life can take some sort of unexpected turns, so make sure you tell your friends and loved ones those things you think you're not ready to say, because you never know when your 5 minutes are going to be up.
My God.
Yeah.
That was
Whoa,
good.
what just happened?
Pete, that was beautiful.
I gotta go.
Wait, that wasn't like a .com or anything. What do we do with that? Was that like real? Was that like actual life?
You know what sucks
get
about
outta
Jerry
here.
having? You know what sucks about Jerry having to go? The 5 minutes is not going to be spent telling you and me anything, Tom.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, maybe I don't have anywhere to go.
Well, listeners, you do have someplace to go, and that's right back here tomorrow for minute 99 of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Stella!